Good morning, girls. We are going to start our today's class, and I'll explain you chapter 7, animal nutrition. This chapter we are going to discuss today. We have done a few topics of this chapter last class. Suppose we had a discussion about nutrition, balanced diet, and how nutritional needs depend on the age, gender, exercise, growth, pregnancy, climate, illness, and body mass. We also had a talk about the malnutrition, starvation, effect of malnutrition, kwashiorkor, marasmus, and the effect of vitamin D, iron, vitamin C, calcium deficiencies. And we also had a talk about the sources and the dietary importance of the fiber. We know about that what is inzation, the differences between mechanical digestion and chemical digestion with the example, what is absorption, assimilation, ization, and what is diarrhea, the treatment of the diarrhea, what is cholera, and how the cholera bacterium affect our small intestine. And I started last class our digestion, the process of digestion, and I have explained you the digestion in the mouth, esophagus, the peristalsis movement I have discussed. And then we had a talk about the digestion process in the stomach and till pancreas. Girls, the topic I have told you, do you have any problem in this topic? And I gave you the full chapter notes, girls, yesterday. I told you to write in your copybook. So this week, today and tomorrow, I will complete my explanation. And next week, there will be an oral test for you all. Pick the student, I'm going to ask you individually the question and you need to answer me properly. After that, I will start past paper. Okay, then we will start our second lesson, that is the, transport in animals. But next week, most probably, I will start the past paper. I'll give you the message, okay, before that. So oral test and the past paper will be 1 or 2 weeks. Now, I need your feedback. Do you have any question till the pancreas? Till the pancreas, I will start from duodenum today. I need your feedback. If you have any question, that means this part I did not understand, I will explain again. Or if you don't have any problem, you need to open your textbook, page number 83. Page number 83, you have seen this diagram. Now, I want to show the diagram which is in page number 84, figure 7.80.
Miss.
Yes, got it. Page 85, also 7.19. This is the diagram you need to see. Now, let's start digestion process. You know that that digestion means that when the food molecule has been broken down from insoluble to soluble form. Right. Now, girls, what happened in your mouth when you ingested the food? When you ingested the food, first you are biting, right? Biting and grinding and crashing the food into small pieces, which is mechanical digestion, increases your surface area. So it will mix with the digestive juices more easily. And inside the mouth, salivary glands secrete saliva, which contain water, mucus, and amylase enzyme. The water will help to dissolve the substances in the food. Mucus help to bind and make it slippery so that you can swallow it easily. And amylase start the digestion and started break down the starch into maltose. And your tongue also help the food to pushes them down in the back of the mouth, mouth cavity, and then make it easy to swallow. Now, when the food is moving down through the esophagus, you have circular and longitudinal muscle. So circular muscle in front of the food relax, allowing the wall of the alimentary canal to expand. And, circular muscle behind the food contract, making the lumen of the alimentary canal smaller and squeezing the food forward. This is called peristalsis movement. And you have seen this diagram in your textbook, that this diagram is that on page 83, 7.16 diagram. You have seen how the back side, the back of the food, the muscles are squeezing. Front of the food, the muscles are relaxing and allowing the food to move forward. So this is the peristalsis movement, and end of the that esophagus, there is a ring of muscle we call this sphincter muscle. So it relaxes and the food comes to your stomach. And your stomach is a muscular bag which churn up the food in and makes into a thick liquid. That this stomach wall secretes the gastric juice. Okay, so you know that the wall of the stomach, it has the gastric means to do with the stomach, right? It has a gastric pit also. If you look at the diagram in page 84, 7.18, look at, they have a layer of mucus and the cell which makes mucus, the cell which makes pepsin, the cell which makes hydrochloric acid. So the enzyme pepsin protease start the digestion of the protein. They are breaking down the protein to polypeptide. Stomach also contains the goblet cell you are seeing from the diagram. It contains a goblet cell which secrete mucus. So this mucus lubricates the passes of the food and also protect them from getting damaged by hydrochloric acid. Because you know this slippery things do not, it reduces the friction actually. And hydrochloric acid provide the correct pH for the protease to work properly and also to kill the germs if any bacteria or virus enter through the food to your stomach. That's why I see this COVID-19 virus also do not make any harmful things if it is entered to the stomach. But problem is only in the lung, right? It will destroy all the ciliated and goblet cell, lung cells has been destroyed. So lung couldn't supply the oxygen to your body. The depletion of oxygen, your organ has collapsed. So this is the problem. Non-living thing creates this much problem, see? And for this reason, we are at home. So this is stomach, that digestion. There is one more thing, those who are young mammals do not take the solid foods, right? Mostly they're taking milk. So this type of mammals, those who are very young, they produces one sort of protein, protease enzyme, like renin. The enzyme renin works to clot the protein in milk, but it produces only in the stomach of young mammals. So this digestion process, I hope you understood. So this inside this stomach, how long that the food will be in the stomach depending on the what type of food you are eating. So the glands in the lining of the stomach produces gastric juice containing the protease enzyme. It helps in the process of breaking down large protein molecules into small soluble amino acids. The stomach lining also produces hydrochloric acid, which makes a weak solution in the gastric juice. This acid provides the best acidity for the stomach protease to work and kill the bacteria which might have taken through the food. The regular peristaltic movement of the stomach. See, muscles are folding, squeezing and relaxing and mixing this gastric juice with the food molecules completely. And breakdown processes are going on. So the regular, this contraction and relaxation, it means this rhythmic, that peristaltic movement. This rhythmic peristaltic movements of the stomach and about once every 20 seconds. You understood? 20 seconds once contraction relaxation. This type of peristaltic movement makes up the food and the gastric juice turn into a thick or that creamy liquid like that. And then how long that the food will be in the stomach depending on what type of food you have taken. Suppose if you have taken only water, it will take few minutes only, right? So water may pass through in a few minutes. And a meal of carbohydrates, such that any type of carbohydrate food, if you are taking carbohydrate food, it will be in the stomach for less than an hour. But if you're taking a food mixture with the a meal which contain carbohydrate, protein, fats, maybe in the stomach for 1 to 2 hours. So finally, after 1 to 2 hours later, all the food molecules will leave the stomach. So when after 1 or 2 hours, we call it chyme, right? The thick liquid, the regular peristaltic movement of the stomach mix up the food and the gastric juice into a creamy liquid, which we call chyme. It passes through the ring of the muscle called pyloric sphincter. After 1 or 2 hours later, the food will be in the bottom, the sphincter muscle in the bottom of the stomach. We called it pyloric sphincter. It will relax and the food will come to the duodenum. And the duodenum, the main, that functions are going to the duodenum. But duodenum is not doing it itself. It has supporting organ like pancreas secreted pancreatic juice and bile secreted through the bile duct. So what is the function of bile? See, the bile is a yellow-green alkaline watery liquid. This helps to neutralize the acidic food which is coming from the stomach. And girls' bile do not contain any enzyme. It produces in the liver, stored in the gallbladder, and through the bile duct it comes to the duodenum. Thus, if you go back to the diagram, like everyone need to go page number 83. Look, 83, look at the diagram of the liver and the gallbladder, and here is the bile duct. Look at the position of the bile duct from the diagram. Through this bile, the liver produces this bile and is stored in the gallbladder, and here through a duct it comes to the duodenum. You can see the leveling of the duodenum. So when this bile is in the duodenum, it is not an enzyme, girls. So bile function, we call it emulsification. Emulsification is an example of mechanical digestion. It is not chemical digestion. Understood? Now, because it is not containing any enzyme, it is not changes the food molecule chemically. It breaks up large drop of fat into very small droplet and increases their surface area. This is called emulsification. So as it makes the food molecule small pieces, then the lipase enzyme can work well very quickly and changing the fat into fatty acid to glycerol. So this is the functions of that bile. Bile, I'm telling you again, bile is produced in the liver, stored in the gallbladder, and through the bile duct it comes to the duodenum and emulsify the fats. Make it easier for the lipase. See, you have seen that from the beginning, mouth, esophagus, stomach, fat digestion start in the duodenum. And duodenum, when the emulsification occurs, it becomes very easy for the lipase enzyme to break down the fat to fatty acid and glycerol. Now my question, see, people are suffering in the gallbladder stone, right? They have to remove their gallbladder. So the patient, those who do not have gallbladder, they will not be able to produce bile to their duodenum. So you know that in our family also, some of the patients are like that. One of our aunts, she told that she has to remove her gallbladder, and she told that doctor told her not to take fat-contained food more, because as she's not having gallbladder, her fat digestion is a problem. And if she is taking fat-contained food more, suppose invitation or any occasion, sometime that human being, right, we couldn't resist ourselves. If she's taking more fat-contained food, immediately she will get indigestion, severe stomachache, and other problems also. So because fat is not digesting properly, and it will create other problems. So girls, now you can understand why doctor has told a person is not having gallbladder not to take too much fat. Actually, their fat digestion takes long time, because now bile makes that fat small pieces. Those who don't have this function in their body, their fat will be as it is. So it will take long time for the lipase enzyme to break down. And if you have taken more fat-contained food, your lipase enzyme will not get enough time to break down such a huge amount of fat-contained food. So then the indigestions, pain, stomachache, these all problems will come. So this emulsification you have understand. Now I want to tell you the duodenum position you have seen, right? It's an U-shaped structure, the first part of the small intestine, almost U-shaped, approximately 30 centimeter in the length. This is the area where most of the digestion process has completed. And I told you about the bile. Now let's talk about the pancreas. Pancreas secretes pancreatic juice and passes to the duodenum through the pancreatic duct. It has many effects, girls. Pancreatic juice contains sodium hydrogen carbonate, which neutralizes the acidic food coming to the stomach. The acidity has been neutralizes and also that amylase enzyme is secreted to break down the starch to maltose. Lipase enzyme secreted to the pancreas, which break down lipid to fatty acid and glycerols. Trypsin. The trypsin is the protease enzyme. Trypsin enzymes break down small polypeptide into dipeptide. Girls, the protease enzyme which secreted in the stomach is pepsin, which work well in acidic condition. The protease enzyme which secreted in the pancreas, that is trypsin, it cannot work in acidic condition. So to get the correct pH, bile also neutralizes the acidity. The sodium hydrogen carbonate also neutralizes the acidity to give the proper pH for the trypsin to work well. So pancreatic function and the duodenum, what happened in the duodenum, I hope you understood. Now, just need to tell you more a few things that see that bile you understood the liver function, that what happened, you know, that inside the liver one more function is going to happen. We called it deamination. Actually, whenever you have taken lots amount of protein type food, your body couldn't store protein food. Your body can store only carbohydrate as a form of glycogen inside the liver cell. You know this thing. So suppose you have taken a lot of protein food. So this protein your body couldn't store, and protein, they have one amino group, one nitrogen containing one nitrogen part is there. So what happened, you know, inside the liver, they will break down this amino group from the amino acid, and rest of the thing they will combine with the carbon dioxide and form into urea. This is called deamination. This deamination process is not included in this chapter, but just want to say you, this deamination process, excess amino acid has been converted to urea, and so when the nitrogenous part has gone from the amino acid, rest of the part turn into carbohydrate. Then they're using it for the respiration, or they're keeping it as a storage of that carbohydrate like glycogen. So this urea has been excreted from the body through the kidney. So deamination process we'll learn in the excretion chapter. Just give you the simple idea that if excess protein you are taking, what happened? Suppose if you're taking excess vitamin C, it is coming out. So vitamin C, that consumption should be every day, the perfect amount. You are not allowed to take a lot of vitamin C every day. If you're taking, it will come out through the urine. So girls, you know about the pancreas, where the chemical and mechanical, both the digestions are going on in the duodenum, right? Now, duodenum, you understood the first part of the small intestine, receive pancreatic juice for chemical digestion of protein, fat, and starch, as well as neutralizing the acid from the stomach, receives bile to emulsify fat, which is a form of physical digestion. Till this much, I hope it is clear. Now, let's talk about the ileum. The ileum is the second part of the small intestine. Enzymes in the epithelial lining carry out this chemical digestion. Now, what type of chemical digestion has carried in this structure? Yesterday, this week, not yesterday, actually, I gave you the notes, right? In that notes, I told you about the digestion process. Now, what happened if you are looking at notes, you will be seeing that the ileum is approximately 3 meters. It has two functions. First function, all the digestible material has changed into soluble compound. And the final product of the digestion, see that from the beginning, the protease enzyme was working to break down the first protein to polypeptide, polypeptide to dipeptide, like that. So finally, this dipeptide in presence of water will break down and turn into 2 amino acids. Maltose in presence of water, maltase enzyme will break down and it will produce 2 glucose molecules. Lactose in presence of lactase, it will turn into galactose and glucose. Sucrase enzyme break down the sucrose in presence of water, fructose and glucose. This notes you have. So the second part of the small intestine, enzyme in the epithelial lining of the ileum carry out this chemical digestion or this all digestion process. The maltose and peptidase, and also the ileum has very long and that coil structure. Inside it contains the thousand finger-shaped structure. We call them villi. This increases the surface area for absorption to the digested food molecules. So this is the second part. That first function, I told you ileum has 2 functions. First functions, all the digestible material has been changed into soluble compound. After that, the absorption takes place mainly in ileum. Small molecules such as water, amino acid, glucose, vitamins, and minerals are absorbed through the wall of the intestine into the blood or lymph. What is lymph, girls? You will be getting it in circulation chapter. So now just that know this, that blood or lymph, because when the tissue fluid entered to the cell and it comes out and enter into the lymphatic vessel, it turns into the lymph. So when I will explain this lymph, when I will explain in that circulation chapter, you will not be able to understand right now. But you can understand one thing, that the fluid entered in a special type of blood vessel. We call it lymphatic vessel. We call that liquid into a lymph. So the small intestine absorbs 5 to 10 dm³ water per day, and the colon 0.3 to 0.5 dm³ per day. So girls, this is the absorption of digested food. Now, if I want to tell you a bit more what happened to the absorption, the small intestine, consists of the duodenum and ileum. You know this thing. Nearly all the absorption of digested food takes place in the ileum, along with most of the water. So small molecules of the digested food, such as that which is still big enough, will not be absorbed. So that too big, and small molecules are absorbed through the wall of the intestine. Maltose will break down glucose by maltase, these all enzymes are present in the ileum, and that protease also will break down dipeptide, and that lactase also, sucrase, all the enzymes has been broken down our food molecules. So finally, the starch will turn into glucose, the simple sugar. All the protein will turn into amino acids. All the fats will turn into fatty acid and glycerol. These are the final product of our the digestion process. Now, you can ask, Miss, how we are preventing our self-digestion, right? Why? The stomach is digesting only the food molecule. Why not the stomach cell? Prevention of self-digestion is very interesting. It is not in your syllabus. Okay, just to want to inform you, but this question might come to your mind, that why the stomach wall is not digested. Okay, because why the muscle cells are not digested. See, the gland cells of the stomach and pancreas make protein digested enzyme, protease, and yet protein of the cells make this enzyme are not digested. Why? One reason for this is that the proteases are secreted in inactive form. Pepsin is produced and pepsinogen, and does not become the active enzyme until it encounters the hydrochloric acid in the stomach. So see, God has given us so many pattern, right? So pepsin secreted is produced as pepsinogen and does not become the active enzyme until it encounters the hydrochloric acid in the stomach. The lining of the stomach is protected from the action of the pepsin because of the layer of mucus. Similarly, the trypsin, one of the proteases enzyme from the pancreas, is secreted as the inactive trypsinogen and activated by entercasein, one more different substance. Now, this enzyme secreted by the lining of the duodenum. Enterokinase. Okay, so this is the reason which prevent your own self-digestion. So girls, ileum function also I have told you. Now let's talk about the adaptation of the ileum, which help the ileum to do these two types of functions. First thing, the ileum is very long and coiled. Okay, this increases the surface area for absorption. The internal surface is greatly increased by circular force bearing thousands of tiny projections called villi. And each villus contain lacteals. Lacteals, if you want to see the lacteals diagram, you need to go page number 85. Girls, 85, and the longitudinal section of the villus in between. Look at this labeling of the lacteals. In the middle, girls, I need your feedback. Are you on the page 85, textbook page?
Yes.
Yeah, sure, Salmin, I'm doing. Page 80, oh, you are asking about the 83, that 83 I want, Salmin, I told you page 83 to look at the position of the ileum. Okay, explanation I'm doing right now. 85, page 85, figure 7.19. If you look at, this is the only one villi. If you look at this diagram, the white color one, this is the lacteals. This actually absorb the digested food. You know why? If lots of, that fat has accumulated in one place, it could create the blockage problem. So lacteals has taken this fat and prevent this accumulation of that fat inside one area. So each villus contain lacteals which absorb the digested fat. And if you go back, go down 7.20, the same page 85, look at the detailed structure of the villus. This is the big structure. Look, the basement of the membrane, there is a nucleus, and look at the goblet cell, the position of the goblet cell, and it is secreting mucus. And look, each villus has been divided to lots of microvilli. See, epithelial cells have microvilli, which further increases its surface area for absorption. So villus also there, and top of that villus has been divided with the microvillus. And here, many mitochondria are present in the epithelial cell to provide energy for active transport, because you know that diffusion will be until the concentration grade was high and low. Suppose all the glucose molecule that when they need to take away from that from the blood of the small intestine in the time from the ileum, in that time they will use energy to take this. Now, girls, many mitochondria are present in the epithelial cell to provide the energy for active transport. Blood capillaries in the ileum also join, and this is actually a bit different thing. Girls, go to the next page, page 86. Now, look at this figure 7.22. Absorption of digested nutrients into the villus. Look at this diagram and follow the arrow. Look, small molecules such as water, amino acids, sugars, and some fats, minerals, and vitamins are absorbed into the capillaries through the diffusion and active transport. And next side, some fats are absorbed into the lacteals. So accumulation of fat will not be in one place. After that, after taking this, the blood will come out. Look, blood to hepatic portal vein. Okay, and down there is a lymph to lymphatic vessels and then to the heart. From the lacteals, it will go to the lymphatic vessel, then it will mix with the heart after giving a round to the body. And from the blood, Sumaya, is it okay? Can you hear me? Girls, all of you are listening, right, what I'm telling?
Yes.
Okay, Sumaya, just check your connection. Now, from the, look at the, that after absorption, the blood goes to the hepatic portal vein, then it goes back to the liver. And if you want to see the real picture, look at figure 7.21, page number 87. This micrograph shows thousands of villi covering in inner wall of the small intestine. It magnified about 20 times. Have you seen? Fully, that occupied, small finger type structure. Now, I will just give you the summary of this, that feature of the small intestine. Small intestine, it is very long, about 5 meters in the adult of the human, which gives plenty of time for the digestion to be completed and for digested food to be absorbed, and as slowly it is passes through that way. And it has villi. Each villus is covered with cells which have even smaller projection, we call the microvilli. This gives the inner surface area of the small intestine a very large, extensive surface, a large surface area. The larger the surface area, the faster the nutrient can be absorbed. And this villi also contain a dense network of blood capillaries, because this monosaccharide means glucose, girls. Glucose, amino acid, water, minerals, and vitamins, some fats passes into the blood by the process of diffusion and active transport, and through the hepatic portal when it goes to the liver. Villi contain lacteals, which is a part of lymphatic system. I told you lymphatic system function. I will explain later. But from here, it will go to the lymphatic system, and fats are absorbed in the lacteals, and then slowly it will come back to the heart. Now, villus wall is very thin, girls, only 1 cell thick. So this is also one way so that the diffusion can occur very easily. The digested nutrient can easily cross the wall to reach the blood capillaries and the lacteals. Always remember, all of the digestive juices contain water and mucus. Girls, stomach, gastric juice or pancreatic juice, whatever, all the juice contain water and mucus. The water is used for the digestion of the large molecule into small ones. It also works as a solvent for the nutrient and the enzyme. Mucus act as a lubricant. It also form a covering over the inner surface of the alimentary canal and prevent the enzyme from digesting the cells. I told you why our own cell has been prevented not to digest it, because of this is mucus preventing our own cell to digest. Now I have given you one functions of large intestine. The small intestine function has gone. The food molecule the digestive, the soluble one, goes back to the liver. And what happened to the undigested part? Because whatever the food you are eating, all the part of your food is not possible for your body to digest, especially the roughage or the fiber. And actually, girls, the fiber do not digest it. We are removing from our body as it is. The way we are eating, exactly same way it is coming out from our body. That's why we are calling it ization. Removing solid waste from the body is not a digestion. Is not an excretion actually. See, when you breathe out, you are removing carbon dioxide from the body, which carbon dioxide has been made inside your body by the process of respiration. So it is metabolic waste. When that through the urine, urea, uric acid, lots of extra things are coming out from your body. This is excretion. But removing solid waste is not excretion. This is called ization. Why? Because the part is coming out through the feces that is actually undigested part of the food. So the large intestine does not secrete any enzyme, but the bacteria, few bacteria are staying in the colon, which help to digest the part of the fiber to form the fatty acid, which the colon can absorb. And the bile salts are there to absorb and return to the liver by the blood circulation if it stays in the waste part. And finally, the colon will absorb water from the undigested residue. And large intestine also produces one important thing that is called vitamin K. This help to help of the bacteria. Also, vitamin K help to blood clotting also, girls. Now, this is the functions of the large intestine. I want to tell you a bit more what happened to the in the large intestine. See, the material passing into the large intestine consists of water with undigested matter, largely cellulose and vegetable fibers, roughage, right? Now, mucus and the dead cell from the lining of the alimentary canal. The large intestine also do not secrete any enzyme, but the bacteria in the colon, this help to digest the part of the fiber to form the fatty acid. Your colon can absorb this. And the bile salts, which is also coming through the food residue, are absorbed and returned to the liver by blood circulation. The colon also absorbs much of the water from the undigested residue. About 7 liters of digestive juices are poured into the alimentary canal every day. Can you imagine? If the water from these was not absorbed by the ileum and colon, the body would soon become dehydrated. So the semi-solid waste or feces or the stool passes into the rectum by peristalsis and is expelled at intervals through the anus. The residues may spend from 12 to 24 hours in the intestine. The act of expelling the feces are called ization or defecation. Understood, girls, what is the functions of the large intestine? And I hope that you have understand this. The large intestine, you can just remember this: absorption of water from the undigested food, absorption of bile salt, and back to the liver. These are the two functions. And finally, the undigested part has coming out through the anus. And you know that in the rectum, in the bottom of the rectum, again, they have a sphincter muscle which relaxes, and this undigested part of the food has been moving away from your body. So this is the functions of the large intestine, which contain colon and rectum. Any question, girls, from this? I have less than 1 minute. I'll give you the link again. Okay, girls? Yeah, thank you for your feedback, girls. I'm just, please, I need your feedback, girls. I want to end this
Okay, miss,
meeting.
you can
I
go and
have
come back
less
again.
than 1 minute. Okay, shall I end?
Okay, miss.
Okay, so I'm giving you the link again, and please, all of you have that rejoin. Huh? Okay. Good morning, girls. We are going to start our second session. Before starting the class, I want to know the few students are not joining to the class regularly. I need the name of that student. I'm seeing here, before it was 26 participants, so the total number of students are 32, right? So regularly, I have seen the first class, so many students are, okay, some students want password, okay. So that if so girls, if any students are not taking the class regularly, I want the name. So it was 26 students, they came, alhamdulillah. So Tamanna from grade 8A, 8D, just could you please inform me the girls who is not joining the classes regularly? I need the name. We have to see attendance.
Umayma?
Yes.
Umayma,
I have seen last class. Today she didn't submit.
Miss Amina didn't come either.
Amira, today Amira is absent.
No, Miss Amina.
Amina. Yeah, Amina also, I'm not
Najia.
seeing her. And then Najia. And then 80, who is absent? From 80.
Nabila.
Sorry?
Nabila.
And then 26. Tasnuva. Just personally, if you can contact with them, if they have any problem, they should they inform us, because regular classes are going on and everyone should join. Now, girls, in our notes, I have given you one table, right? If you look at the table, you will be see that in this table, that the region of the alimentary canal, digestive gland, the juice product, enzyme, the class of food acted upon, and the substances produced. Let me explain this table. So the region, see, if it is the region is mouth, that the digestive gland is salivary gland, right? The salivary gland secrete the saliva. What juice they have secreted? That is saliva. And what
Miss, where's the table?
Yeah, I'm talking about the table. I gave you this table to write
I don't have it in my notebook, Miss.
Sorry?
I don't have it in my notebook, Miss. Have you sent it?
Yes, yesterday I sent few pages. Girls, I hope that everybody got this note. Yesterday afternoon, I uploaded from question number like 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and last question 18. Till 18, I have uploaded. So if you didn't get, go back to the WhatsApp group, and there the notes will be there. Now, in this notes, the region of the alimentary canal, if it is mouth, then digestive gland will be salivary gland, and the digestive juice will be saliva, which contains salivary amylase. And what is the function? The class of food acted upon? Starch. What type of food it is acted upon? Starch. And what is the product? Maltose, right? And when that element, the region is stomach, the gland will be in the stomach lining. Digestive gland will be the glands in the stomach lining. And digestive juice will be gastric juice, which have pepsin, the enzyme pepsin, which acted upon protein and turned the protein into peptides. And if we are talking about the region duodenum, digestive gland will be pancreas, and which produces pancreatic juice. This pancreatic juice contains trypsin and amylase and lipase. And it will break down protein, peptidase, starch, and fats. This peptidase and amino acid, peptidase turn into amino acids, maltose, that is starch will turn into maltose, fats will turn into fatty acid and glycerol. This is the substance finally they will produce. In the ileum, the digestive gland is epithelial cells. Yes, Tanzila, that all of you are listening, right? Girls, is there anyone having the sound problem?
No.
No, miss.
Tanzila, just check your connection. Let's see. Amira, you are also not listening. Could you please check? I didn't mute anyone. Amira and Tanzila is not listening. Just check your connection. This problem is for other girls also, girls.
No.
Miss, I'm
Okay.
fine. I can hear you clearly.
Yeah, so most probably this is connection problem, huh? Just check. So girls, that ileum, the gland is epithelial cells and there is no digestive juice, but the gland produces maltase and peptidase enzyme because still the protein digestion didn't complete. And the food will be maltose and peptidase because already that protein has been broken down into peptidase. And finally, maltose will turn into glucose, peptidase turn into amino acids. Girls, is it clear?
Yes,
Now,
miss.
these all the digestion process I have completed. Now, I want to tell you the structure of the villi. So, the villi has the very important function for the absorption. See, villi are very thin, only one cell thick. And each villus is about 1 millimeter long. The cells that cover the villi makes the enzyme to complete the digestion of the food. It also contains lactase, which absorbs the digested fat. And also it has goblet cell, which makes the mucus and protect the intestine wall. And next, the human teeth and all I will explain. But till this much, do you have any confusion? Now, if you don't have any confusion, we will be going. There is a table in page number 87 in your textbook. Let's talk about this. In this table, look at the part of the canal, the juice secreted, where it made, enzyme in the juice, substrate, product, other substance in the juice, function of other substances. They have given a very good table here. You need to read this table also to understand. See, inside your mouth, that saliva comes from salivary gland. It has amylase and it breaks down starch to maltose. In your esophagus, nothing. Look, the table, the no juice, no function. Other functions are not there. Only peristalsis function, the food is moving down. Now, stomach, it produces gastric juice. Where the gastric juice has produced? In the pits. In the wall of the stomach, they have pits, and you have seen the diagram also. And what type of enzyme the gastric juice contain? It contains pepsin, which break down protein to polypeptide. And it also has renin, only in the young mammal, which break down milk protein to curd that milk protein. Okay, it's the product become like that. And other substances are hydrochloric acid. This gives the correct pH for the pepsin and also kill the bacteria in the food. Now, if you are going to the duodenum, so it's secreted pancreatic juice from pancreas. This contains amylase, trypsin, and lipase. Amylase break down starch to maltose, trypsin break down protein to polypeptide, lipase break down fats to fatty acid and glycerol. And what are the other substances? Sodium hydrogen carbonate reduces acidity of chyme. Now, girls, this also duodenum also that got bile, which produces in the liver, stored in the gallbladder, but it do not contain any enzyme. This bile has bile salt and bile pigment. This bile salt emulsifies the fat. Bile pigment is excretory product which has been excreted from the body. Ileum. No juice has secreted in this part of the alimentary canal. Enzymes remain in or on the cell of the covering of the villi. Now, the cell, by the cells covering the villi, it produces and it completed the digestion. Look at this table. Maltase enzyme break down maltose to glucose. Sucrase enzyme break down sucrose to glucose and fructose. Lactase enzyme break down lactose to glucose and galactose. Peptidase enzyme break down polypeptides to amino acid. Lipase enzyme break down fats to fatty acid and glycerol. Now your food molecules turn into soluble form, all become glucose, amino acid, and fatty acid and glycerol. This will reabsorb through the villas and through the hepatic portal. When it will go to the liver, from the liver it will be distributed in your body cell. Your body cell will break down these food molecules in presence of oxygen, and they will release energy, that energy you are using to do your everyday work. And also, you know, the amount of food you are taking, the big percentage of the amount of food energy your body is using to keep you warm, because we have a definite temperature, right? This temperature, to maintain this temperature, the energy your body is using, maximum amount of energy that you are getting from the food. That's the reason, girls, if you are not doing any exercise also, if you are sitting at home completely also, the minimum, the amount of food you need every day to perform your metabolic function, because you are, that your organs are working. Your digestive systems are working, your circulatory systems are working, your breathing systems are working. So all the systems are working, they need energy. Without energy, they will not work. And without the oxygen, your body cell couldn't produce any energy. See, that I told you, this COVID-19, the virus, so dangerous. You know why? As it is destroying the lung cell. So what happened, you know, the lung couldn't supply the sufficient amount of oxygen. So your body cell couldn't produce energy, because without oxygen, they are not be able to break down your food molecules. So no energy. Without energy, your organ will not be able to work. And in your brain cell, if the 3 minutes your brain cells are not getting energy, they will just stop working. And the patient might go to the coma or death. So that's why this, you know, disease is so dangerous, because it just directly destroyed the lung cells. Lung couldn't supply the oxygen to other parts of your body cell. So girls, this is the whole digestion process. I have told you the structure of the villas and all, and only the structure of the teeth left, that I will tell you tomorrow. Today, this much. Now I need your feedback. Do you have any question, girls, regarding the digestion? Everyone, please ask me the question. If you, Zara, is there any part that you didn't understand? If you understood properly, I'm going to ask the question. If you're not asking me, I will ask. Tell me.
Miss.
Okay, Ileum.
I have
Yes.
confusion in the large intestine.
Excellent. Okay, that Salmin wants to hear about the ileum. Okay, I will start from the ileum. Okay, girls. Ileum, ileum actually mainly absorption happens. I told you there are two functions in the ileum. All the digestive materials, different types of enzyme, and you can understand where this enzyme has made by the cells which covering the villi. The cells which cover the villas, this cell produces no juice secrete. Enzyme will remain in or on the cells covering the villas. This, you know, that enzyme, different types of enzymes are there, like maltase enzyme, sucrase enzyme, lactase enzyme, peptidase enzyme, lipase enzyme. These all the enzyme will break down the food molecule, and finally all the carbohydrate will turn into glucose, all the protein turn into amino acid, all the fat will turn into fatty acid and glycerol, because these are the soluble form your body can use to break down in presence of oxygen, which is known as aerobic respiration, and provide you the energy which makes you survive. See, I'm talking, you all are listening. Do you know how? Because the nerve cell in your ear is working. They're taking these messages and send it to your brain, and your brain is telling, yes, this sound is coming, and you can understand what I'm telling. So the nerve cell in your brain, that your brain is working right now, and your nerve cell in the ear is working. It means they are also using energy. Without energy, this function also will not be possible. So you are using energy every time. And absorption of the digested food. After digesting these all, the absorption of these small molecules like water, amino acid, sugar, and some of the fats, vitamin, minerals, these are all absorbed into the capillary through the diffusion active transport. Food molecules through the hepatic portal vein, it will go back to the liver. From the liver, it will distribute it to your body through the hepatic artery. Now, what happened to the large intestine? See, large intestine, actually, digestion is not going over there. the material passes into the large intestine consists of water with undigested matter. Mostly it has cellulose or vegetable fibers, which we call roughage. Mucus also there, dead cell also there, which is from the lining of the alimentary canal. Some of the cells are dying also. The large intestine do not secrete enzyme, but the bacteria in the colon, started digestion of the fiber to form few that fatty acid, which colon itself, it will absorb that fatty acid. And I told you the bile salt, which emulsify the fat, it will stay in the food and it will come to the large intestine. So bile salt will be reabsorbed and returned to the liver by the blood circulation, because this from the liver, it will store in the gallbladder. From the gallbladder, it will come to the duodenum again to emulsify the fat. So this is the one important function of the large intestine. The bile salts are reabsorbed and returned to the liver by the blood circulation in the large intestine. So the colon, you know that the very important function, the colon absorbs much of the water from the undigested residue. And about 7 liters of the digestive juices are poured into alimentary canal each day. See the function, what function is going on inside your body. That's why you need energy every time. If the water from these was not absorbed by the ileum and the colon, the body would soon become dehydrated. So most of the water has been reabsorbed in the ileum and also in the colon. So the semi-solid waste, which is the feces or the stool, this passes to the rectum slowly by peristalsis movement. Okay, slowly, contraction, relaxation, contraction, relaxation. Through this rhythmic way, the solid waste passes to the large intestine and then it entered to the rectum. And where in the bottom of the rectum, there is a sphincter muscle and it will expel also with the interval of the anus. And this residue may spend from 12 to 24 hours in this intestine to come and reach to the intestine. The act of expelling in the feces, it means that removing the solid waste from the body, this is known as defecation or isation. So girls, this is the functions of ileum and the functions of large intestine or colon. Now, I want to tell you, the products of digestion are carried around the body in the blood, right? From the blood, the cell will absorb and they will use this glucose, fat, and amino acid. The uptake and use of food is called assimilation. You have got this food, you have got break down this food, you got the energy, your cell is using this energy to make new cells, to repair yourself, to do whatever the functions. It means this is the assimilation, girls. So that I told you what is the meaning of assimilation, girls. You know, ingestion means to take the food inside your body, right? And this assimilation means, see, last 2019, this exam assimilation definition came. Many of our students couldn't answer because they forgot the definition. But if you understand, okay, you don't need to leave the definition, right? This is the movement of the digestive food molecules into the cells of the body where they can use, becoming part of the cell. So when that food molecule has been broken down and you are using this energy to repair your body cell, to make new cells, means it becomes part of your body cell. So this is actually assimilation. Now I want to tell you that glucose. During the respiration in the cells, the glucose is oxidized and they form carbon dioxide and water by the process of aerobic respiration. Respiration, you will know about this respiration in grade 9, not now. So this will give the energy. So this energy you need to do your everyday's work for your growth, for your repair, for your metabolic function, for your nerve impulses, for your that repair, and it means all the life processes has been conducted by your body every time they need energy. So the fats, you need this fat to build into the cell membrane and other cell structures. So see, you people are growing, right? So growing child need a certain amount of fats and protein. Fat also form an important source of energy for the cell metabolism. Fatty acid produced from the stored fat and extra fat also deposits inside our body, that in the skin, around the liver. There are many organs which surrounded with the fat layer, so but too much fat is also a problem. Fat provide twice as much energy than the sugar. So fat consumption should be limited. I'm not telling not you shouldn't take fat. You, of course, you need to take fat, but the consumption should be limited. An amino acid disabsorbed by the cell, and that these amino acids are needed. It's not needed for protein. If it is breakdown to amino acid, these proteins that amino acids are needed to provide energy, and especially for your growth and repair. So girls, this is the way the food molecule assimilated in your body. So this much. Tomorrow I will explain the structure of the teeth, and I will show you a few more diagrams to make our explanation more easy. And I requested you all, please write the notes which I have given in the WhatsApp. And I have uploaded this in the website also. If anyone missed any point, you can check the website. And second, I want to tell you that if you don't understand what is your problem, please write in a paper. And tomorrow you can ask me, Miss, these are the parts you did not understand. Because this is a very important chapter, girls, animal nutrition, and also is a very big chapter. And our school website. And we are going to, if you get it from the WhatsApp, you can. Just yesterday only I have uploaded. And also, girls, you need to ask me the point you didn't, that you feel that is still you are confused. Because next week I'm going to start past paper. Before that, you have to be. Yes, Miss.
Are we allowed, like, can we even ask you about the assessment portion confusions if we have?
Sure, but assessment portion, that if you have any confusion, you can ask actually anytime, no problem. But make sure that this digestion, it means animal nutrition, you don't have any problem. Because I'm going to start past paper from next week. Okay, girls?
Okay, Miss.
Okay, thank you. So today is this much. Thank you. And tomorrow also we'll be having a class same time. Thank you, girls, and bye.
Okay, Miss. Take care.
Hi, Miss.
Bye.